All right, viewers, time now for the WION Newsroom. I'll now be joined by my colleagues Kanishka Sarkar, who will break down the big business stories shaping your money and the economy. We have Miraj Shah, who will give us all the updates from the world of technology, and Athira Shashidharan, who will take us through all the action from the world of sports. Let's begin with Kanishka for the market updates. Take it away.
Well, from Asian markets and oil prices to crypto policy in the US, many global stories driven that are making headlines. Let's start with the markets. Now, Asian markets, they've come under pressure today as global sell-off in semiconductor stocks that has weighed on investor sentiment. Asian equities led the global declines after chip stocks tumbled across the region. South Korea's Kospi plunged more than 7.5%, while Japan's Nikkei fell nearly 2%, and Australia's ASX 200 that also closed lower. Now, the weakness spread to Europe as well as investors reacted to semiconductor sell-off, even though the Wall Street had closed on a high note yesterday. Now, for the first time, markets are now awaiting fresh US economic data for further direction. Meanwhile, let's also put the spotlight on oil. The global oil market is entering a new phase. Saudi Arabia has slashed the price of its flagship crude for Asian buyers by the biggest margin in over 2 decades. Now, with the Strait of Hormuz reopening and OPEC Plus set to increase production from August, more oil is returning to the market. While Brent crude has edged above $72 a barrel, analysts are now concerned that the focus is shifting from supply disruptions to growing concerns over weaker demand and the possibility of excess oil supply. And finally, the United States. President Donald Trump has left the door open for Bitcoin to be included in the new Trump accounts investment scheme for children. But he stopped short of making any commitments as of now. The accounts currently allow investments only in diversified US equity funds and ETFs. So Trump's comments come amid growing scrutiny of his family's cryptocurrency business interests, even as Bitcoin rose after his remarks. So those are all the global stories, business stories that we are tracking. And now for tech updates, let's go to Miraj.
Thank you, Kanishka. Now, Denmark has joined Belgium in a legal battle against major technology companies, arguing that digital platforms should pay news publishers when their content appears online. Now, the case before the European Court of Justice involves Google, Meta, Spotify, Sony and Streams, which are challenging Belgium's implementation of the European Union's digital single market copyright rules. Denmark says that a ruling in favor of the technology companies could weaken press publishers' rights and will urge the court to clarify that digital platforms have a responsibility to compensate media organizations for the use of their content. Moving on, the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, or the FCA, has said that it will review whether general-purpose AI models such as ChatGPT, Claude and Gemini require additional regulation as more people turn to them for financial advice. The regulator said that more than a quarter of UK customers trust large language models to help make financial decisions, and this is despite the fact that the consumer protections applied to regulated financial services do not cover these AI tools. The FCA has also warned that growing reliance on a small number of AI providers could create systemic risks, suggesting that existing regulatory framework may need to evolve as AI becomes more embedded in the financial sector. Finally, Broadcom has extended its chip supply partnership with Apple through 2031, reinforcing a long-term relationship that underpins key wireless technologies used across the iPhone maker's devices. Now, Broadcom supplies Apple with radio frequency, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and other networking chips despite Apple's continued efforts to design more and more of its own silicon, including its C1 modem. Now, the extended agreement builds on a multi-billion-dollar deal announced in 2023 and strengthens Apple's strategy of securing long-term chip supplies to improve the resilience of its global supply chain. That's all we have for you from Tech. For sports, it's over to you, Athira.
Thank you so much, Miraj. One of football's greatest careers will end without the game's biggest prize. Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup journey has ended in heartbreak with a 1-0 defeat to Spain. Substitute Mikel Merino scored in the first minute of the second half stoppage time to help Spain reach the last 8. Ronaldo broke down in tears as his World Cup journey ended in Dallas. The 41-year-old leaves the tournament as the only player to score at 6 different World Cups. The 5-time Ballon d'Or winner scored 11 goals in 27 appearances across 6 FIFA World Cup tournaments. The Portugal star came close to winning the World Cup 20 years ago when Portugal reached the semi-finals in his first tournament in 2006. Ronaldo's long-time rival Lionel Messi will be in action today. The defending champions Argentina face Egypt in round of 16 clash in Atlanta. Argentina are favourites to progress to the quarterfinals. Messi has scored 7 goals in just 4 games and is currently tied with Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland for the Golden Boot. Egypt are led by Mohamed Salah and have reached the round of 16 for the first time in their history. They booked their place after defeating Australia 4-2 in a penalty shootout. Staying with the World Cup, Kylian Mbappe has hit out at a Paraguayan senator after she directed racist abuse at the French captain. Amiral targeted 77-year-old following Paraguay's round of 16 defeat to France over the weekend. Amiral, in a social post, said that described Mbappe as a colonized Cameroonian and called him arrogant and ugly. She also claimed France won the match against Paraguay by fluke and that Mbappe was nervous and scared to death throughout the match. The French captain has now responded, calling the senator despicable and saying she was unworthy of serving in Paraguay Congress. The French Football Federation has also condemned the remarks as utterly unacceptable and announced plans to file a criminal complaint. Well, with that, we've come to the end of the sports segment. It's back to you, Shivan.
Atira, thanks so much for those sports updates. Also, a thank you to Miraj and Kanishka, my colleagues, for bringing us all the updates on the WION Newsroom.